Aloha. Welcome to our wonderful gathering. I'm so grateful to be here with you and Lee and Roger and Colin and whoever else is joining the party. We hope we have a good time today and connect about poetry and music and life and love and yeah.
It's good to people came early. Look, the 10 participants.
We'll officially be starting at 5:30, which is the start time. But
Oh, okay.
for now, looks like we got 6 people in the audience right now, waiting for more people to come. But
Right on.
We'll play some more songs.
Okay. What do you want to hear? You want to hear a cover, original? You tell me. I'm grateful to be here with you, Lee.
We'll make one song up right now.
Oh yeah? Okay. You okay. Why don't we freestyle? You could put the words in.
I like how you made up that song and only took you 5 seconds, but for me,
No, that one I was like, okay, I gotta go into my files and pull one out. That was
I was like, gee, it should only take you 2 minutes for one whole album. You can create one whole album.
No, that was on my album Grassroots Calamari. I was like waiting for you to start. I was like, is he gonna do it? Am I gonna do it? Oh, I chickened out. I'm just gonna pull one up.
Okay, but I'm gonna ask you a question later on about potential song that you might want to create. Remember, I had asked you about it before, so I gave you 1 week, yeah. So maybe during that week you created the song, yeah.
Okay, good idea. Thank you. You're so inspiring. Look at you. Oh my goodness. Wow. Mahalo nui loa.
It's just about good time, so we can begin whenever you're ready.
Okay, we're gonna begin.
Yay.
How's it? I'm Lee Tonouchi, the moderator, here to introduce our honored guest talker. So Issa Yee Park is Korean American and from New York, but she's been living in Hawaii for a while now. Back in the day, she used to tour with Def Poetry Jam, and she travel all over the world sharing her poetries. I want to ask her if she read in Korea, and she did. Come for find out, she even read in North Korea too, bruh. Oh, how's that? She's the former poet laureate of Queens, New York. Her fans call her the Queen of Queens. She's so beloved in her hometown that the borough president when declare her birthday for be Isoyi Park Day. How's that, bruh? How many people get one day named after them? You might also know her for her musics. Some people think, hey, she looked like that musician chick, yeah, Keolani Park. You don't think so? But that's not her twin sister separated at birth. It's her. It's the same person who was nominated this year for an Hoku Award for her album Sweet Gold. Iso's first book of poetry, The Temperature of This Water from Kaya Press, came out in 2004 and won all kind of awards, including the Pen Open Book Award. And then she made her fans wait 17 long years for her next collection that we here for celebrate today. Just out this year from One World Press, one division of Random House. Here is Isoyi Park, who can immerse us in the world of Angel and Hana, a novel in verse.
Choo! Mahalo nui loa. That was so awesome. I love that intro. Thank you, Lee. You're the best. Oh, wow. You made me feel like I was listening to something about somebody else.
Are you going to share with us some of your poetries?
Yes, I would love to.
Oh, okay. Or you wanted to start with the question and answer part first?
Whatever you like. Let's go with the flow. Let's make it.
I had imagined you was going to share some poetries, and then I was going to ask some of the questions submitted to us by your fans. Your fans wrote in all their questions.
Yeah, I'm excited to get to that part. That's fun. That's so thoughtful of you to do that. I really appreciate it. So this book, Angel and Hana, took me about a lifetime and 16 years to write. And yeah, it started as a dream. It started as a continuation of the first book in a way, like taking two of those characters and really developing them and growing them. And so over the years, it kind of grew and grew and grew. Like it was supposed to be just like a little chapbook at first with a series of poems, you know, spanning 4 seasons. And then it got bigger and bigger, and I wanted to know about more people in it. And it turned into this dream fantasy, like just like loving pastime I had at night to kind of record my first love and all the good and painful parts of it into a book. So that's what I did. I hope you enjoy. I'll read a couple poems from it. And it's a mix of sonnets like Petrarchan, Elizabethan, and you know, free verse and also hip hop verses like bars. So that's kind of how the book is. And this one is called Arirang. Arirang, arirang, arario. 아리랑 고개를 넘어간다. 나를 버리고 가시는 님은 심리도 못 가서 발병난다. In the old Korean song, one lover leaves another on Arirang Mountain. You won't walk 10 li away from me without an ache in your feet, she sings. Because that is the nature of love. Memories live on, make a home inside a body. It's them from Hana's home country, from women who love in moon villages far from the sea. When Hana's mother left Korea with Hana in her belly, she stole that song across the ocean, sang it as a lullaby as she bathed Hana's young skin. Years later, Hana hums Arirang on her way to meet her first lover from the moon village of Queens to the moon village of Brooklyn. April, Aigu, Paraminata, a fresh wind blows inside her. Last night, the wind shook mimosas on Fifth, so she walks on pink petals to meet him. Okay, so that's in the beginning when Hana first meets Angel, and then we get into their life a little bit, and I'll read you another one deeper in the story. And This is her first love, so this is what she thinks, and it's called Love 101. These are the ways you love a man, in the details, cooking his eggs well done but not burnt, moving his radio to the shower because you know he likes his hot 97 in the morning, drying your feet before stepping out the tub because he can't stand a wet floor, letting him hold open all doors, walk on the sidewalk facing street for some chivalry that says you ain't for sale, dealing with phone bills and unopened junk mail, kissing slow from crown to toes, all 126 of his freckles, his 22 scars, telling him, I love you under the star you, never teasing his too early to be balding temples, popping his pimples, watching his eyelids shift in sleep, moving closer like you're his for all time to keep. Okay, so that's another one. And it spans like the journey spans about a year, and it goes all into his family and her family and how they got along and didn't, and all of these ups and downs, you know? So this one is for Hannah and about young girls everywhere. It's called Gold Hoops. One day, she will be brave enough to venture away from her huge gold hoops and bodysuits, from parroting her mean friend's laughter, or sitting on the stoop for hours trying to look half fly, half tough, sucking on a sour apple blow pop, listening to the boomboxes spit out hip hop. One day, she will look at her rough, scarred face without her MAC eyeliner and stop hating those young, haunted eyes. I hope a slant of gold light will hit her cheek just right, and it may come as a surprise to her how fine she really is. Fabulous, sleek, soulful, full of her own juju and mystique, a rose fury, gold lightning when she hits the street. Mahalo, Lee. Thank you.
My
Okay, this
favorite
one.
part. My favorite part was when you said gold light, and there's like a light coming on your screen right there, right where you.
Oh,
I know.
sweet. Yeah, I'll do maybe one or two more, and then if you have any questions, you know, you're welcome to ask. And does that sound good for you, or do you want to just go into the questions now? How do people feel?
I think we go do the questions when you're ready. Like when you gotta rest your throat, drink water. So then you have to think you can answer questions. So I guess whenever you feel a little bit tired, we can take a break and go to the questions.
Okay, sweet. So I'll do a couple more and then we'll go questions. This one is called Ski, and it's the first time that Angel goes skiing and he feels a sense of freedom. And here it is. Lucy in the sky with diamonds, he thinks, a song his mother used to sing. Diamonds tossed in snow and sky wink at him like these coy, bright-eyed girls on Hunter Mountain summit. He inhales the iced air and frost trees, and when he glides down the mountain's soft shoulder, his tracks hiss spume like speedboat on lake water. He is black dolphin, seahawk, any fierce, finned, winged thing. He shears the air with silver limbs like God's scissors, wind singing a Pegasus aria in his numb ears. This fast, he could outrace death or fling himself straight into its stark eyes. Unafraid, he floats in midnight sky above whitecaps and slopes, gravity his only compass. He is flying past fear to a different music now. Holy, holy, dark angel taking wing. So that one's for Angel. Thank you. And yeah, I'll end with this is just kind of like a soft one, but I like it. It's called Jackie Robinson Expressway. And it's when she's on her way out of the journey. So the highway is a silver ribbon threaded through a lush hair of trees. She gets lost in its curves. Its shushing becomes her night music. She's older now. She drives one-handed. She knows these turns, seen them all before. No longer a wet-lipped girl fidgeting in livery cabs with Dominican drivers who reek of brute cologne and wink into the rear view. She rides alone until sky breaks open, a greening light, an empty highway. She rides between dusk and dawn, distance and time, watching the sun anoint treetops, watching eyes of dull apartments catch a flame. She drives, a silent witness with no name. Every time it's like being born again. Okay.
Beautiful, bro. Like when you read them, it's like I feel like the book gotta come with one CD or something inside, so we can hear you read them. Wow. Okay, so we have the fan questions. Fans want to know all about you and your work. So here's a question from Ed Lin. Oh, Ed Lin, right? He's a famous writer, author of David Toon Can't Have a Girlfriend Until He Gets into
Boom.
Ivy League College, from Kaya Press. So Ed Lin writes, oh, he like you kiss and tell, bro. Ed Lin writes, is love better in books or in real life?
Oh, Ed, love, of course, is better in real life. You feel all the feelings, and that's what translates into art. That's what makes it creates beautiful art, So the seed of that love and all the feelings and all the juice and the goodness and the stories and the songs, they become art. But at the same time, there is like a delicious and sweet and private and sacred pleasure and just recreating that love through poetry so you can give it to somebody else and they can also feel some of those feelings. So that's a kind of magic in itself, and I love both. I don't think I can live without either one. The kind on the paper and in real life. But I like to take a break from the kind in real life sometimes because I need to raise my children. I gotta make sure I choose a good one that's gonna help, aloha aina and do all the good stuff. So I think it's good I gained some weight during this whole, pandemic, whatever you want to call it, because it's grounding me down and making me, not have to be prey all the time.
I like the answer. Good answer.
Thank you.
So we have more questions, but if you want to read some more, you can read some more, or whenever you want to take a break, we can get to more questions. Up to you.
Yeah, I would love to hear another question.
Another question, okay.
And thank you, Ed, by the way. I love Ed. He's such a wonderful friend and supporter and kind soul and amazing writer. So go support read his books. Yeah.
Okay, there's another question, bro, from Normie Salvador. He's the poet of the poetry collection Filter from Tin Fish Press. Oh, a lot of poets and writers are writing in questions, but all these writers are fans of each other. But this one sounds like a tough question, bro. Okay, ready?
Okay.
Normie Salvador says, representations of interracial couples are rare, more so when both halves are people of color. What were the specific challenges you wanted to show in a Korean American girl navigating Puerto Rican culture and a Puerto Rican boy navigating Korean culture?
Oh, Normie, that's a good question. That's deep. So, because it was so deep, I had to write a little bit of a response so that way I could help myself when I'm talking with the answer. But basically, I feel like the specific challenges is when Hana is navigating like the race, class, and cultural differences when she enters into Angel's world, and trying to document that honestly. And, she is coming from like a middle class background and then going into a very like, working class, but like in drug trade kind of world, that's kind of something that she never experienced before, and just navigating that. And then for Angel to have to deal with, how Koreans are, like Korean soap operas, dramas, class, this and that. So imagine him going into that kind of world after being in his like loving warmth of his familia, his environment, So them trying to make a home in between all of that is what the book is kind of about. And if they can make a home within themselves in the midst of people maybe not approving or questioning their love or not giving them a space where they feel safe, but they create one. So that's kind of what it was about. And yeah, there were challenges on both sides for sure. So the book, I hope to accurately reflect some of that, but I try my best. I could write more in the future.
Are you ready to go read more?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. You can start.
Oh, no. I'm ready for the next question, if that's okay.
Next question. Oh, okay. We're gonna run out of questions, bro. I never know we was gonna do that many questions. Okay, question number 3. Oh, this one comes from Tai Sangha, super cool guy and Emmy award-winning filmmaker. He's the
Oh,
director of Family Ingredients, bruh. Tai Sangha,
aloha.
the famous filmmaker. He asks, who do you envision playing the lead roles in the Angel and Hana movie? Ho ho!
Whoa, I love that question. Wow. Thank you, Ty. Nice meeting you virtually. um, so for the Angel and Hana movie, I think visually the person who comes to mind when I think of someone who looks and acts like Angel would a little bit is there's a rapper and he's from New York. He's young. His name is his stage name is Flawless, and he was on that show Rhythm and Flow with Cardi B. He was one of the contestants. But I feel like his personality and his swagger and his age and his look is exactly what I can envision for Angel. If he ever feels like doing it, it would be an honor. And then for the Hana part, though, I have a couple different visions in mind. Like I was thinking like visually who I think would be like epic for it would be like Lana Condor, you know, that girl who has done the movies like To All the Boys I've Loved Before. Like I feel like, oh, you know, physically like that, I can feel her in that role, but also like who else was it? Yeah, maybe Aquafina, like the attitude is like, I can feel she has that queen's attitude already. So for feeling, I think Aquafina, but like, I also love, like, I can envision like Constance Wu in the part, maybe if she ever felt like it, but yeah. So there's so many beautiful and talented Asian American, you know, young actresses coming up. So it's beautiful to see that in our lifetime. And I'm so grateful that this is happening, you know, as feels like baby steps sometimes, and it feels like, you know, this spiral, but at least we're still creating. And, you know, that's the beautiful thing to be a part of that. Yeah.
I feel like, Ty is a director, and then want to make a movie. I don't see what's stopping this two of you guys from connecting there, since you're asking. But I don't know, maybe you scared him off with the budget when you say, oh, maybe Aquafina. Oh,
No, it doesn't have to be. I'll play myself with the budget.
Okay, so have more questions? You want to do more questions, or you want to read?
Yeah, I'll do some more questions. This is entertaining. Thank you.
Okay, so Wing Tech Lum. Wing Tech Lum, venerable poet, born in 1946. He's the author of Expounding the Doubtful Points and the Nanjing Massacres from Bamboo Ridge Press. Wing Tech Lum asks, how do you relate to Hawaii, given your Korean and New York background?
Well, first I'd like to say aloha, Wing Tech Lum. It's an honor and a pleasure to hear from you. I remember Bamboo Ridge Press and your name for many years from when I was growing up. I mean, you guys were my heroes when I was a young writer, like thinking, do other people do this? And so I really look to you as a role model. So aloha. And to answer your question, what does Hawaii mean to me? When I was 16 years old, I came to Hawaii for the first time. And, you know, it was one of those trips that planted a seed in me. And I never loved the place so much as I did when I came here. I was like crying in tears, you know, I'm Korean emotional. So I was feeling all the feels. And then when I moved here, 12 years ago, I remember there was this one time I was just driving down the Pali and it was wet and misty and the mist was coming down the mountains and I just wept, I cried. I felt like this is where I'm home now. Finally, after I've been flying around trying to find home for so long, I just felt it in my bones. Like this is where my bones will be buried or my ashes scattered, you know? And I never felt that about a place before. Like I literally wept with gratitude. And ever since then, it's been the most amazing journey and sacred to me living here. And, you know, I even went through a period when I first arrived when I was barefoot for like half a year to feel the aina, you know, like really. And I was late to class all the time when I had classes over at the UH Manoa. They were so mad at me for being such a hippie, but I really wanted to feel it from my soul. And now, you know, I've got married here. Both of my children are born here. So they were born and raised, one in Kauai, one in Oahu. And So it's been a blessing to be here. And also, there's a strong history of Koreans in Hawaii. And so I love how they worked on the independence movement for Korea while they lived here. And so they give me strength in knowing about that history. And I just feel like such a deep respect and love for the Aina and Nakekio Kaina and the people of Hawaii. And I've been taking, hula ever since I basically came on the island. My first hula teacher was Healani Yun, Miss Aloha Hula 1986. She named me Kehaulani, which is my Hawaiian name. So, I practice La'aula Pa'au and do Lomi Lomi. And, we live on the island of Pelehonuamea, who is our fire goddess. And so it's a very beautiful and sacred part of our lives living here and, learning our best to be humble and aloha aina and just give back to the land and the people, and at the same time, figure out a way to cultivate our lives and, grow and have our families prosper and live in abundance. So it's a blessing being here. I love it.
I have a question.
Mhm.
So I was thinking, because my family grew up in Maui, and we're all full Okinawan, and I was kind of amazed. It's like they knew almost like every single Okinawan person, like on the island, like Okinawan people knew each other. I was thinking, oh, that doesn't really happen today. But then I was thinking, oh, my friend from high school, he's Korean, and he knew all the Koreans like within a 3-mile radius. And I was like, how do you know all the Korean people who live around this area? He goes, oh, at church. So
Yeah.
at church is where, that's how they knew all the Korean people. So do you know a lot of Korean people like on the whole island or within a few mile radius, or how you guys find each other?
Yeah, so I think mostly I've been finding people digitally, like nowadays, like people have been finding me that way too. So that's how a lot of sisters, Asian American and Korean American, they find me and they meet me that way. But I haven't found like a very strong, well, I don't know where they are. If they're here, come. Like, I'll cook for you. You come to my house. I would love to meet more Korean Americans or Koreans on the island, So but at the same time, like, I think it's because also I'm very spiritual, but I'm not very religious. Like, I don't like I find my God in nature, in the ocean, the Kai. So like, I'm not really up in the church scene that much, but I have all the respect and the love for God. I just show it in different places in different ways. So that's how I feel. So
You want to do some more reading? I only get one more question. So you want to save that one, or what you want to do?
Yeah, sure. But if there is a church with like a big like singing component, I would love to join it. So let me know. I'll read one more. Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay. This one is called Heart Street. Angel loves this hushed pocket of night after his boys drift into sea, after customers sniff and shuffle away with a fistful of his 2-bit white magic, when window lights switch off one by one like blown out candles or stars, when he's alone on the corner of Heart under Jackselina's Christmas bulbs, half golden and dusky hues, air cool against his eyelids, he walks in a half circles, does a 2-step, sings dancehall reggae in a high falsetto alone to his skinny self. He lights a Newport, stares down the street. It burns a blue line into infinity. Okay. Thank you.
Before I get to like the last question, I was also kind of curious, like how did Angel and Hana become one real book? It seemed like it happened pretty fast because I remember you had made a chapbook. Yeah, it was like a chapbook, kind of like a computer printed out, and kind of seemed like you was gonna be happy if it didn't necessarily have to be a real book, but you're happy with it being a chapbook. And then next thing I know, a big publishing deal. Was that kind of like a demo record so you could show it to the publisher? Like, how did it happen so fast?
The way it happened was, it's an interesting story actually, because I don't know if this is related or not. You can make your own assumptions or, whatever, but I think it's related. I just joined this workshop, and it was with this woman who is from the ancient Toltec lineage. And it's about dream planting and planting in your dreams, like what you want to happen in real life, right? And then writing it down. And then you go on dream journeys with different spirit animals who help you in different areas of life. So we did like this 4-day intensive workshop with people from all colors of the rainbow. And then, we had to write down what we wanted to happen in our lives. And one of the things that I wrote on that list is I would like my second book to come out with a major publisher, and it did to happen, soon. What I wrote it down. And right after I wrote it down, it was like a 1-page thing. Then I get a call from my friend Bushra. Meanwhile, I'm here in Hawaii and I'm living my humble Hawaiian life, doing 3-4 part-time jobs, single mother, So I'm doing all that. And I get a call from my old roomie in Brooklyn, from Brooklyn, New York, Bushra Rehman. She's an amazing Palestinian. She's an amazing poet. So just if you look her up, you'll see Pakistani. I'm sorry, she's gonna kill me. Anyway, but Bushra, it was my roomie. And so she and I used to read poetry to each other and just have a wonderful time when we were roomies together on the rooftop. And, so we would share our poems with each other, and she loved those sonnets. And so she asked me if she could teach them in her class. And I said, sure. And she had this workshop in the Asian American Writers Workshop where she was leading a writing workshop, and 2 of the people in her writing workshop were from Random House. And they loved the poems, and they were like, oh, is this a book? And Bushra said, I think she made a manuscript, but I don't know if she ever did anything with it. And so they were like, oh, can you connect us? And so Bushra connected me with them, and then they got me an agent, who was this woman in Queens, Claire Mao, who she happened to know my earlier work, and she was a fan, so she was very helpful. And so then it just all happened within the period of a year. And then I had to kind of write more to fill it out. And so the first half, I'd say, of the book was already done, and then the second half I wrote in Hawaii. So the first half was like many years ago, but it was, something I had been working on over writing residencies. And then I put it away when I had to become a mother and a single mother, a single mama and island mama. And, my hands were full with my children and feeding them and clothing them, everything. I barely had enough time to read. That was like a luxury all of a sudden, So for many years, I only wrote at night, and, after how many jobs. So when this came back to me, it was just like a blessing. And I felt like I got kind of have a second wind now. All of a sudden, people are asking me about my different projects. And I do have all these manuscripts that I've been working on over the years at night when the kids go to bed. So it's nice that maybe some of them can come to life now. I feel very grateful for it.
I'm not sure if your story is encouraging or discouraging. It's kind of both, yeah, encouraging, discouraging, because a lot of people, they send out their manuscripts and get 100 rejection letters, right? And say, wow, you didn't even have to send it out. You just wrote it down. I want a major publisher. And then,
no, there were specific breathing rituals and things I had to do.
Oh, that's specific breathing. Oh, okay. Not just write it down. I was thinking maybe the pencil was magic.
Maybe. The magic is in the intention, and you put it up, they say that when you write it down, it makes it happen more, right? So every time I've written something down, it pretty much almost happens, except for the money part. I gotta fix that.
Maybe that's too selfish, maybe, if you ask for money, right? No, maybe. Yeah. Okay.
That's true. Thank you, Lee. You're such a good big brother. That's why I knew we'd have a good time.
So I have one last question, if you want to do it.
Yes.
Want to do it?
Yeah, sure, of course.
So this is my question. I have a question. Okay. So, wasn't he nominated for Hoku, right? For Prove, that's not your evil twin sister. Bust out
that's my angel twin sister.
So if he was making the theme song now, right, to Angel and Hana, the movie, what might that theme song sound like? Bam!
Yes, I love that question. That's a beautiful question.
Right, I'm gonna make up a song now.
Oh no, you gotta give me time. I gotta work on it. But I totally have a feel for that movie. It has to have like an old school 1990s like hip hop soul feel. You know what I mean? It has to feel very sweet and also with like that acoustic element too. So yeah, but I think definitely like maybe something like I don't know, Diggable Planet style, the feel of it, like Pete Rock and so Feel Smooth. Like I like that kind of feel. So yeah, I have to figure out some way to make that.
Oh, tonight after this panel, are you gonna go and breathe the right way and write it down? I want Angel and Hana, the movie, and you can even write in your notes starring Aquafina with acoustic and whatever soundtrack. Make it as
You're
specific as
right.
possible, specific as possible. So I want to see if it all comes true.
You know what? You're such a good big brother. Oh, mahalo nui loa. God bless you. I'm so grateful for you. Yeah, you got. Yeah, mahalo.
All right.
I look up to you. Let me tell you something. You are so funny and honest and humble and down to earth, but you like talk about like real Hawaii life and you just make it like, you know, accessible to the world, but in a way that's loyal to us too. And like, you know, you just do it all in your writing and you feel the worlds of Hawaii in your writing so much, you know, and I love that about it.
You got
Yeah.
it backwards. I look up to you. It's like I remember I ordered like one of your chapbooks long time ago, right? This is before your first book came out. And oh, you wrote like a nice letter in your chapbook in your chapbook after I bought it. Like, wow.
That's so cool.
Can you give advice to like young writers? I'm sure a lot of young writers look up to you, right? Can you give advice besides write it down? How else can they make their dreams come true, right? If they want to become writers, if they want to become poets, what should they do?
Yes, you know, thank you, Lee. I feel like we are at the point where we can kind of like give some advice and help it to be easier for other people on their journey. And so I would say just do it, you know, as much as you can, write, and also, you know, look for different things that resonate with you, like if it's a writing residency or if it's like some kind of contest that can pay you money for your writing for some stories or whatever, like keep your antenna open for opportunities and different things that you may actually enjoy writing about or doing, and that, you know, it's not going to take you a lot of effort. You could be in your little dreamland and make something beautiful up, and hey, if you could get paper or you could do a writing residency, then go for it, you know, and find those ways to create time for yourself to be in your own world, to create your magical world. You know, you have to, like for me, writing residencies really helped. And then if I didn't have the money or if I didn't have the resources for writing residencies, I would just always carve out a specific number of hours of time, or, and you know, at night I just have like a pocket of time where I create or use to create. So I feel like the more you just keep doing it and don't give up, because life is long. There's plenty of opportunities. Sometimes we feel like, oh, if we don't get this one, then oh, everything is so sad and we're so dramatic when we're younger. But then if you look at the span of it, you got decades. And the great thing about writing is that you get better as you mature. It's not like one of those things, you're a figure skater, you're done at 24. It's like you have like plenty of time. You can write until your 80s, you know? So even if you don't have it all right now, or you're too busy working and making a living, collect those stories and keep them, because when you will have time later, you can write it. So I don't know, if you think about the long view, I think it makes it more bearable and more fun and more enjoyable. And like, what can you give out in the long run? Like, what are the gifts that you want to leave?
So once again, I'm encouraged and discouraged again, because you know it's encouraging, right? You just keep doing it, you're gonna get better. But it's also discouraging because now you know I'm not as good as I'll be when I'm 80. So I'm not bothered. Right? Like, oh, I just so I think you should play more music, right, before we fade out. No?
Yeah, sure.
Because I think Roger, he's the one who organized the conference. I think he really wanted you to play some music.
Oh yes, I would love to play some music for you. So here we go.
Please do.
There's Roger.
Aloha, Roger.
Aloha.
Do you have any requests? I'm here to play to make you happy. Come on, we're here together. Let me, what do you want to hear?
Actually, I'd like to hear you sing.
Would you like to hear a Hawaiian or island song or
One would be great.
Hawaiian?
Yes.
Okay. So this one is called Pua Olena, and I'll just do a small part of it. And it's one that my daughters love to dance to. So I hope you enjoy. Aloha.
So I'm kind of curious. It's like how did you get a CD done? It's like a lot of people say, oh yeah, I want to make a music album one day, and then but they never do. But then you did, and it happened, and nominated for a Hoku. And how did that happen?
Yeah, that's a good question, Lee. Basically, while the whole the world went crazy, I wanted to kind of do something that would be healing for me and kind of an escape, and also like a way for me to create beauty if I tried, So I basically went into my songs and I was like, all right, if this is the world is going crazy, maybe I could make something beautiful and soothing to kind of counteract all the chaos and the static. So that's what I did. And, I tried intentionally, I prayed on it. And so the songs all pretty much have positive messages and are like recorded in the 432 love vibration, like Prince says. And, so I did that while the world was just beyond my comprehension outside. And so I focused on that and I made 3 albums in a year that I released on 420, at 420. I was like, okay, let me do some creative work to keep myself occupied during all this trying to be. So that was what happened. And then I was like, okay, let me go through the process and actually see if I can do this, So, I applied for the Nahokus. And then when I found out that they actually, some of my songs and albums got through on the ballot, it was like a dream come true. And for me, it's a huge honor and a blessing because, some of the people in the Nahokus whose music I love and listen to, they were so such a wonderful part of my experience here in Hawaii, and like listening to them on the old record players. And so like to even be nominated is a great honor. And I pray that in the future, I just continue to make music, and hopefully it will be healing and, you know, bring good vibes to Hawaii. So that's my pure intention.
You got to make more albums, because this year's award ceremony was virtual, right? So you didn't get to meet all your
No, I wish. Yeah. Next time, maybe.
So the only way it's gonna be on next time is you gotta go make one next album, right?
Yeah, it's in the works, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, so I'm very grateful. There's some beautiful beats that I've been working with and playing with, and I just have to set up my whole studio again. But it's exciting. I have like the seeds already, so now it's time to kind of water them and make them grow.
Oh, Roger, does Roger get questions?
Yeah, do you have a studio at home?
Yes, actually, I just did a music fundraiser. So I raised enough to get all the pieces and parts back from my music studio. So we've been recording lately, myself and my children, where it's so wonderful to be able to make music with them. But I'll ask them, okay, what sounds do you like? You know, so they'll orchestrate like a whole song themselves, and I'll just take down what they say. And so we're making music together. And so one day we're gonna have a family album, I pray, because you know some of the songs are like by Lani and Sanaya, or some are by Lani and Sule, and they even know how to make their own beats on these apps now. It's amazing. I can't believe it. I give them my phone, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Listen, mommy," and they have this incredible. They're very high tech, and it's a kind of like scary and a blessing, but they know how to do it. At least they're using it for good. Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about that. Wow, that's interesting. We're on the same wavelength.
That's a
So
good
the secret is,
get in.
so the secret is then have children and go make them do it.
No, I give them credit. I mean, I do my own too, but they are very creative. Yeah, you know, my daughters, their birthdays are Christmas and Easter. So it would be very fitting. I'm always like, oh, Jesus, what are you trying to tell me? He's always, those are two huge messages. I was just like, be good. So it's interesting how the world talks to us.
You had a seasonal theme in Angel and Hannah. You might do a seasonal theme in Pahoa.
Oh, maybe. Oh. It has been seasonal.
Why don't you do a final reading, and then
Sure.
It's been just wonderful, but I'd love to hear you read once more.
Thank you. It's been an honor and a pleasure, Roger and Lee and Colin and everybody who's here. Thank you for joining, and I pray you had a good time. So I will read this one. Let's read one that is, okay, this is about summer break. This is a good end of summer going into fall kind of sonnet. And it's just about them walking down the street enjoying the summertime. Grains of light sift over Wyckoff Avenue, dusting strollers shoved by thick hip mummies with slick gelled hair. Tattered triangular flags blow and click like sharp teeth above all heads. Angel struts, clasping Hannah's fingers. A cool wind ripples his undershirt, dares to lift her skirt. Young fools with easy grins, they stroll loose hips down Hart Street, say what's up to boys ribboning D's Fat Beats in Sal's Pizzeria. A young street king and queen, everyone knows his name. Psst, mira, Angel y la China, they hiss, but the two own the block, walk straight into a hot wind.
Oh, that's great.
Mahalo nui loa. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. And Lee, thank you. I'm not quite sure how you managed to get those questions, but I didn't see them anywhere, so I was surprised. But anyway, it's a good idea. There were some good questions from really interesting people.
Yes. Thank you so much for doing that. I really appreciate it, Lee.
Thank you. Thank you. That's an awesome reading.
Oh, you're awesome. Thank you so
I
much.
feel like I want you to read the whole book to me now, because I feel like I read it quite wrong.
There's an audiobook. You could go buy it. It will help.
Oh yeah,
teach
there's an audio
them.
version already?
Yeah.
Yeah? Is it read by you?
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, I never know. I was reading this one. Oh. Okay.
I got emotional. I cried. I had to stop.
You're making me buy the same book 3 times, Doc. I bought your chat book. I bought this book, and I gotta go buy the audio book.
Oh, I will buy all your books too. Don't worry. It's, so circle, circle of love.
I'm just kidding.
I'm so grateful for your friendship and aloha over the years. God bless you and thank you. Aloha.
Aloha.
And thank you, Roger.
Bye.
Aloha.
Bye.